The reality about passive income and what you should know. Welcome back to another episode of Parking Lot Pep Talks. Is that what I'm calling it? In this one, we're talking about passive income, something which is very glamorized with social media, something which everyone wants and on paper seems lovely. But there are some truths and the actual reality of it we need to understand before sort of pursuing passive income and spending our time worrying about it when in reality we don't understand what it fully is and the work that's required to get true passive income. So firstly, what is passive income? Passive income is that income which is done technically while you sleep, as people word it. It's that which you don't really actively work towards, or you don't have to actively work for that income to come in. For example, you've got your 9 to 5, or you've got a business where you're painting art or something like that. That's all active income. You have to physically, or you have to spend time doing work in order for income to come in. Whereas passive income is where income comes in without you doing anything. That's the premise of it. But what we need to understand is you can't expect passive income without putting the work in beforehand. And yes, the idea of making money while you sleep is appealing. What I mentioned about putting the work in beforehand, that's a very crucial aspect of passive income. It only becomes passive, and that possibility of passive income is only there after you've put a lot of work up front. So what is that work up front? There's a huge initial investment, whether it's time or money or effort. Some people think, well, yeah, there's truly passive ways of making money. And if you look at some of the examples, you'll realize you'll either take your time, your money, or your effort. Let's look at real estate. You might not take much effort, depends on how you go about it, but you definitely need a lot of money for it to become passive. Let's look at stocks. You can invest with a small amount. You can have stocks which pay dividends, but it won't be a good passive income stream unless you've invested a lot of money beforehand. And there's many examples like this. I'll go into a few tips or things that you should know beforehand if passive income seems appealing to you, which passive income seems appealing to everyone, something that we should work towards. Let's start off with your education. You need to understand the types of income. You need to understand what businesses there are out there for you to gain this passive income. You should read books. You should read non-fiction books about business, and take courses, online courses, YouTube. There's loads that you can learn from. Free. You don't even have to spend money. You can find everything for free now. If you know people, or if you see someone who's been successful and you want to follow in their footsteps, then look at how they got there. Ask them. Do some research on them. How did they get to where they are? And how can you do it as well? When it comes to passive income, doing the traditional route of a degree, going to college, getting a 9 to 5 job, it won't work if you want truly passive income to set you up for life. Yes, it can be a starting point, definitely, because the skills that you learn, the knowledge that you learn can definitely be turned into a business later on with experience. Having a 9 to 5 when you're young, 18 to 25, 30 years old, will definitely help in terms of having that capital beforehand before you want to start a passive income business. If real estate is something that you want to go into, then a 9 to 5 for about 10 years can help build up that money, build up that capital for you to invest. Putting down people who have a 9 to 5 who do the regular route of going to university, doing a degree, you can't put them down because you don't know what their future looks like. You don't know how they're going to invest the knowledge, time and money that they'll gain from that in the future. When thinking about building passive income, there's a lot of initial work beforehand. So whether you're creating a product, you're building an audience, you're investing in property, that initial phase requires a lot of effort. If you're building an audience, for example, what I'm doing here, it takes me a lot of time and effort to actually create these videos. And it's longer than you think because there's a lot of editing that goes into it. There's a lot of reruns, recording again. You don't like something, you don't like the sound of something. You might forget to press record on the first time, things like that. And there's a lot of time that goes into it. It can be very burdensome. It can be a lot of pressure on you as well. You have to find ways to work through that initial effort. If you're looking into real estate, you have to look at rules, you have to get the funding, you have to scope out potential places, and there's all sorts that you have to go into. You have to be prepared to spend countless hours working on a side hustle before you can turn something into truly passive income, before you actually see any returns at all. So now once you're prepared to put in that initial work and that effort, and you've started making some money, you've got a side hustle but alongside your regular income, you have to start thinking about building systems. And the key to making passive income technically is through building systems that runs without your active involvement. For example, if you've got certain knowledge, which most people don't have, you make a system to create a course. You spend loads of man hours beforehand, create a course, maybe get a website, get a funnel. Once you've created a system where that whole thing runs without you, that's when, and it brings income in without much effort from your part, that's when it becomes passive income. So if you've got a business, automating the business in any way, there's AI now as well. You can get virtual assistants, hire a team. Technology has advanced so far that there's so much you can do when trying to automate a business. It's difficult for business owners to completely remove themselves from the equation, but you can do so much to minimize the amount of time and effort that you put in, and that's how you get that passive income. Then you move on to maintaining your business, maintaining that passive income. So most income streams require some sort of maintenance in the long run, and it could be a couple hours a week, could be every 2 weeks, a month. But you have to make sure that the systems are working properly. You have to make sure that your team is doing the best that they can. You have to continue checking in, and that's up to you how much you check in, how much you rely on your business and its systems. But you have to keep checking in to make sure everything goes smoothly and you can make as much money as you can. Now the next part, it's a very important one, and you can't get passive income without it, and that's patience. Like the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day. Passive income takes usually years before it can truly be passive. It'll take years to build up capital, it'll take years to gain knowledge, it'll take years to understand how everything works and to build that system, or to build systems for your business for it to be passive with very minimal input from your end. So you have to be prepared to not only put in the man hours, but to have that patience as well, to turn up every day initially, to understand that all the work that I'm currently doing, actively doing, will help build a passive income. So just to summarize, if you're looking to create a passive income stream, then you have to remember that the journey starts with hard work. It starts with effort and patience. If you put in the effort now, then you will reap the benefits later on. So once you start, keep pushing, and you will get there. That's it for this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.